Surface area. We've been talking the last couple of days about surface area. Who can give me a definition of what surface area is? Pamela. Very good. The number of square units needed to cover the surface of a 3D figure. Now I gave you guys another explanation of what that was. Can anyone remember what we said the other way to think about it? Paige? Very good. How much cardboard needed to make a box in that shape? Okay, that's basically what we're asking. How much cardboard do we need to make a box shaped like this? So, we have a formula that we can use to find surface area, to find the surface area of any 3D solid. Okay, who can find that formula in your notes for me, please? You can find that. Dylan? That's volume. We're talking surface area. Mon? Very good. Surface area equals 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter of that base times the distance between that base. Okay, so what we need to do is decide which face on this 3D solid is going to be our base. So on example 1, which face, what's the shape that's going to be the base? Danny? The front and back, the 2 triangles. Okay, so we'll take one of those colored pencils, doesn't matter which color, and we're going to shade in those triangles. Then we'll take the other colored pencil and we'll outline those bases. Okay, and that helps us see which faces will be our bases. Okay, then, next up, in order to use that formula, we need the area of the base and we need the perimeter of that base. So, we said it's a triangle. Justin, what's the formula for area of a triangle? That's volume. Giuseppe? Very good. Area equals 1/2 base times height. So focusing on that triangle, what are the base and height of that triangle? Morgan? Good. It looks like a 9. It's actually a 4. Okay? I can see how you might think that it's a 9, but it's a 4. 4 centimeters. Actually, I guess that's 4 meters. Sorry about that, guys. It should all be meters. There we go. All better now. Okay, so we have the base and the height. Let's take those and let's sub those into this formula for area. So the area of that base is going to be 1/2 times 6.3 times 4. Now, if we need a calculator, we can use it. Okay, and we can do 1/2 or 0.5 times 6.3 times 4. And that tells us that the area of this base is going to be 12.6 square meters. Now, that is the area of this base. I also need to find the perimeter of that base. So perimeter is equal to what? How do I find perimeter? How do I find perimeter? What is perimeter, Khalil? Very good. Perimeter is the distance around. If you add up all the sides, that will give you perimeter. So, Khalil, what are the sides of that triangle? 7.5 plus 6.3. Triangle has 3 sides, though. Another 7.5. Good. Okay, now if we need a calculator, we can use one. But if we add those all together, Rachel, what's the perimeter of this triangle? 21.3 meters. So I have the area of the base, and now I have the perimeter of that base. Once I have those, I can sub those into the formula for surface area. Surface area is equal to 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter of the base times the distance between the bases. Okay, now, so I have 2 times the area of the base. And what is the area of the base? What did we find, Danny? 12.6 plus, what did we find for the perimeter? Amber? 21.3. What about the distance between those bases? How far apart are they? Paige? We don't know. It's not listed. Okay, so tell you what. Because I'm here, I'll tell you the distance between those bases, that width, we'll say is 9 meters. Now, I get to tell you that because I'm the teacher, and I made the problem. I made it up. I can give you the width. If it's not there, you guys don't get to randomly pick one, though. Okay? So, the distance between them is 9. Okay, now we use the calculators again if we need to. And we can do 2 times 12.6 plus 21.3 times 9. And what do we get for the surface area? Okay? 216.9. What are the units? For area, square meters. Good. 216.9 square meters. Okay? All right, let's look at number 2. What shape do I have on number 2? What do I call that? What am I going to call that, Dylan? A rectangular prism. Very good. So, I need to pick 2 identical faces to be the bases. Well, Dylan, what do you want to pick? Front and back. Works for me. So, let's take one of those colored pencils, and let's shade in the front. And let's shade in the back. Then we'll take the other colored pencil and we'll outline the front and the back. So we know that we're going to use this formula where surface area is equal to 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter of that base times the distance between those two bases. So first I need to find the area of the base. Now we said those bases were going to be the front and the back. Dylan, what shape are those bases? They're rectangles. And what's the formula for area of a rectangle? Good. Area equals length times width. So the front and the back, what are the length and width of those rectangles? Nick, what are the length and width of the front and back rectangles? 4 inches and 5 inches. Very good. So Nick, sub those in for me. Very good. 4 times 5, which means the area of that base will be 20. 20 what? Very good. 20 square inches. Now that is the area of the base. We also need to find the perimeter. Well, how did we say we find the perimeter? Said it a little bit ago. Mon, what did we say? Very good. We're going to add all of the side lengths of that rectangle. Okay, now just that rectangle. So basically, it's like if we were a little guy right at this corner, and we walked around that rectangle. What would all those side lengths be? Okay, so Colin, let's take you, let's shrink you down. So a little tiny guy, and you're going to walk around this rectangle. If you start here, and you walk this way, how far have you walked? 4 inches. Okay, now you walk up here. How far have you walked? 5 inches. Okay, then you walk from here to here. Another 4 inches. And then all the way back to where you started? 5 more. Great. So Colin, little Colin, how far did you walk? $18 inches. Okay, so I have the area. I now have the perimeter. The last thing I need is the width. How far apart are the front and the back? Amber? 7 inches. Now I can take those and I can sub those all in. So Noah, surface area equals let's bring down the 2. And what's the area of the base? What did we find? 20 square inches plus, what was the perimeter? 18 times, how far apart were those bases? 7 inches. Good. Now if we need a calculator, we can use one. And we'll do 2 times 20 plus 18 times 7. And we get the surface area equals 166 what? Square inches. Okay? All right, let's flip over to the back. Let's take a look at this guy. Let's take a look at number 3. What would you call that shape on number 3? What do we call that, Noah? Call it a cylinder. Okay? And what are the bases on that cylinder? I'm not asking for numbers, I'm asking for a shape. What shape are the bases? They're circles. Exactly. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take one of our color pencils and we'll shade in the circles. And then we'll take the other color and we'll outline those circles. Now, I want the area of that base. From earlier in this class, what did we say is the formula for area of a circle? Morgan? Uh-oh. Give her a hand. Give her a hand, Pamela. Pi times the radius squared. Well, what's the radius of that circle? What's the radius on that circle, Siraj? 5 feet. Okay, so I'll take that radius of 5 feet and sub it in. So area equals, the area of the base, equals pi times 5 squared. Well, what's 5 squared? Good, it means it's multiplied by itself. So 5 times 5 is 25. So we would do 25 times pi, and we would get about, give me one decimal place, Dylan. Say that again. Oh, good. Okay, we would get about 78.539. Okay, and if I said one decimal place, we'd round that to just 78.5 square feet. Okay, so we have now the area of that base. We also need the perimeter of that base. Well, what do we call the perimeter of a circle? We have a special name for perimeter of a circle. What do we call that? Rachel? Circumference. We call that circumference. Okay, and what did we say at the beginning of this class was the formula for circumference of a circle? Very good. Circumference equals 2 pi times the radius. Well, we said that radius was 5 feet, so that means the perimeter, the circumference, is 2 times pi times 5. Okay, well 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 times pi means that the circumference of that circle is about 31.4 feet. So we have the area of the base, we have the perimeter of that base. Now we can sub those in to surface area equals 2 pi, 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter of that base times the distance between those bases. Well, sub those numbers in for me, please. Justin, can you sub them in for me?
2 times 78.5 times 31.4.
Good. Now you said times 31.4 plus times 3? You meant plus. Good. Okay, and that 3 feet, that's our width. That's our distance between. Now Monica asked a little bit ago, she said, how come that side looks so much bigger? Okay, on the previous example. Well, 5 feet, yeah, it looks shorter than the 3 feet side. But like we said, we go by how the picture's labeled, not necessarily by how it looks. Okay, now, if we type these numbers in, Danny, what do we get? 251.2. Okay, that sounds reasonable. 251.2 what? Square feet. Very good. Okay, so when we're looking for surface area, we have a formula. 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter of that base times the distance between those bases. So the first thing we have to do is choose a side to be our base. Find its area and its perimeter. Find the distance between those bases. Sub them into the formula. Just keep in mind, area, whether it's surface area or regular area, is always measured in square units. Square feet, square inches, square centimeters, square miles. Always, always, always square units.